Mayor, I'd like to call the meeting of April 15th, 2010 to order. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Here.
Chawinski.
Here.
Monsino.
Here.
Work is absent as he's on vacation. Conboy.
Here.
Mayor Mola. We have a quorum.
Will everyone please stand for our flag, prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting which we trust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant in the keen sense of justice and the greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231, the public laws of the state of New Jersey. Whereas Chapter 231, the public laws of the state of New Jersey requires the commencement of each meeting a statement by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised, the meeting requirements of this meeting have been met by posting an annual notice in the Record of the Hackensack and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of Borough Clerk as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2010. If there's anyone in the audience, we have 4 people, please turn your cell phone off. Do not put it on vibrate. And our council meeting is being televised or being recorded for television. It will be on Channel 77 Wednesday at 2 p.m., Thursday at 1 p.m., Friday at 11 p.m., or you can tune in to our website, www.elmwoodparknj.us. Okay? And also, all of you have, and I'll keep repeating this, you have received your Waste Watchers book, which tells you the dates, significant dates that you have to be concerned about for garbage collection and any kind of information that we have. Charlie, you walk right by the camera. Charlie doesn't know. Okay, so make sure if you don't have one of these, please call my office and we'll get one to you. It was mailed out to everyone in the borough. Okay?
Mayor, this evening, under the approval of minutes, we have the regular minutes of April 1st, 2010.
Motion, please. So moved. Moved by Mr. Versino and second by Mr. Castiglia. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered.
Mayor, under ordinances this evening, on first reading, we have Resolution 104-10, introduce ordinance 10-09 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 2 thereof, entitled Administration, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, May 6, 2010, at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law. Mayor, if I may make note, there were 2 versions of this ordinance that were prepared by the Borough Attorney, who is also on vacation this evening. However, before a motion is made, I'd just like to indicate whether option 1 is being moved or option 2 is being moved.
Where did option 2 come from?
Option 2, Mayor, if I may, option 2 came out as a discussion as the meeting was breaking up over appointment of the duties of the position of the duties that have been discussed and outlined, and that's what it came up out of. So with that said, though, the only question I have is that I understand this is introduction, so at the second phase of this part of it, at what point does the duties, and Borough Attorney's not with us tonight, so maybe we have the answer here tonight, is at what point after the second phase of this ordinance would those duties officially, which in some ways the clerk is doing many of them now, but all the additional ones and everything that's entitled in here in option 1, when would those become effective?
As soon as it's published, and then I think it's 10 days. Am I correct, Mr. Casmo? Which duties? The duties are in here. That's not the determining factor in option 1, option 2, is it? I think they're all the same.
Well, they are all the same, it's just regarding the, for example, regarding the assignment of the duties.
Right.
Once it's brought up to us again the second time and finalized, at what point is the time lag between that and he officially has the capacity to conduct those duties that he's doing now?
I think you have to make a determination tonight which one you want, option 1, option 2. And you do that. If you want to amend it, then you can amend it, or you can table it and talk to when he comes back.
Okay. Well, that was option one. Option one was what we walked away from, so.
I don't remember anybody talking about option 1, option 2 at the meeting. We told
I'm going to make a motion that we accept option 2.
okay, motion's made by Mr. Truinsky, second? No second?
Good, Frank.
Motion's dead.
Hold on a second, Mayor.
Second by Mr. Catamano. Any discussion?
The count to this is action 1, option 1, option 2. I don't understand what you...
Have you read it?
Oh, okay. There's two differences here.
I'd like to know the difference between
This
these two.
is Mayor. The motion, is it dead?
Well, he seconded it.
This one, the council does.
Okay.
This is option 2, where the council does it. This is the mayor. So which one you want?
Well, I guess we go
Well, the
to
difference-
option 2. A second.
Any discussion? Why did we pick option 2?
Well, you know what, option 1 just says the mayor may assign. Suppose you don't want to assign. Shouldn't it be shall assign?
The mayor is signed with the
No,
advice and
The mayor
consent.
may assign. So if the ordinance gets passed and you say, why didn't you appoint him? Mayor Will says may. I didn't feel like assigning him. That's the way I read it.
So you're
To be
reading
honest
it
with you, you
wrong.
should say, well, maybe I'm wrong, but the attorney's not here, so that's why I err on the
Well, then
side.
maybe you should
Caution.
table it. I'll read it for you. The mayor shall assign,
No, you missed the word, that the mayor may assign.
the mayor may assign administrative duties set forth in section 2-7.8
Right.
to the municipal clerk with the advice and consent of the borough council.
Correct.
Which means the borough council doesn't do anything, nothing happens.
But also means, if mayor, the way I read this, may assign.
Yeah.
So if it gets passed, why didn't you assign? Because it says I may assign. I don't have to assign it.
Yeah, if it passed by
It
the
doesn't
council.
say the mayor shall assign or appoint. But the other argument is, if this is part of his duties, then he's automatically has it. We don't have to assign. It's part of, remember we argued this, we made it under one ordinance.
If there's anything else that was to be assigned, then I'll do it.
Well, it's up to you guys.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I guess my point is, every other position in our ordinances use the terminology of option 1. So I don't see that as any reason why we would deviate from that. Otherwise, we would change about 8 ordinances in our code book.
Normally it says, in many occasions, the mayor
Says
or the council.
exactly the way it's worded in option 1.
The only word I don't like in there is may. The mayor
What's
shall
wrong with
assign.
governing bodies, eh?
Yeah, sure, we can amend anything we want here.
What do you want, shall? Shall is more specific than may. I shall do it, rather than he may do it.
Right. Don't you think so?
Yeah, want to put shall in, that means I can do it. Shall. I think you should just leave it as is. I don't understand
Well,
why you
it's
want
up
to
to the
change it.
council, whatever they want to do.
Also says here,
Yeah, but if he doesn't want to.
the consent of the board of council.
I'll call the roll on option 2. That was the motion made. No means you want to probably go back to option 1.
Well,
That clear?
obviously we can make changes to option one.
Sure you can.
So if we, obviously, the overriding concern is that what we've discussed for some time now is so that these duties can start being implemented, even though the clerk is doing, if there's 10 things on this list, the clerk is already doing, let's say, 8 of them. Just want to ensure that all 10 can be fully, bespoke, fully given over to him to handle now official capacity.
If the ordinance is passed, he has all the responsibilities that are listed there. This indicates that I may assign it to mayor, not me necessarily, may assign administrative support, anything other than is there.
Okay.
Okay, you've got a motion on the floor. A yes vote means you want option 2. A no vote means it's not passed, and then you can go to option 1.
Well, I'll withdraw that motion if you feel that way.
No, option one is what we've discussed. and,
Okay, so
you know,
may
it'll
withdraw
be
option two.
Between now and the next final passage.
All right,
You know,
fine with me. I don't care, we'll withdraw option. We'll withdraw.
Motion to withdraw by Mr. Chewinski, second
Yeah, second, yes.
by Mr. Catamagna. Any discussion? Call a roll on withdrawing the motion, please.
Roll call on withdrawing the motion to introduce option 2. Council members Catamagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Chewinski,
Yes.
Alonsino.
Yes.
Work is absent. Conboy.
yes.
Motion to withdraw passes.
Now, just to make it clear, option 2 indicates the governing body may assign administrative duties. Option 1, which is now on the table, the mayor may assign administrative duties with the advice and consent. So if you take that out, then any future mayor has no jurisdiction over this, just the governing body does, and I think that would be a disservice to any future mayor who may want to do something and bring it up to the council, and the council would have to approve it. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
We don't have a motion, Mayor.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Conboy, second.
I'll second.
Mr. Catamagna, discussion?
This is a motion to approve on introduction option 1, correct? Councilman Conboy?
Yes.
Councilman Catamagna, second.
Yes.
On roll call to introduce option 1 of ordinance 10-09.
By the way, this is the first time that I've ever had an ordinance come up. We had 2 options right here on the floor. The attorney usually gives it to us, and then we work on that. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Chewinski,
Yes.
Alonsino.
Yes.
Work is absent. Conboy.
Yes.
Motion to introduce is approved for option 1. On second reading, Resolution 05-10, introduce ordinance 10-08 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Exceed the Municipal Budget Appropriation and Establish a Cap Bank." Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, April 1st, 2010, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Owen Park, that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Exceed the Municipal Budget Appropriation and Establish a Cap Bank" pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
Motion to open the public, please.
So moved.
Mr. Castiglia, second. Mr. Boncino, discussion. All in favor, opposed? Anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance, which allows the borough to exceed the budget appropriation by 1%, this would be 2.5, this will be 3.5, and it provides a cap bank to help us next year if we need money to keep taxes down next year. No one wishes to be heard. I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion on the ordinance, please?
So moved.
Mr. Boncino and Mr. Conboy, discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Chewinski,
Yes.
Alonsino.
Yes.
Work is absent. Conboy.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, tonight, under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 106-10, payment of bills, Resolution 107-10, confirmation of checks, Resolution 108-10, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 109-10, redeem third-party tax lien, Resolution 111-10, appoint electrical subcode official Rocco Compatello. That's just simply making him permanent following a civil service examination. Resolution 112-10, appoint electrical subcode Joe DeMarchek. Exact same thing. He passed the civil service examination, and we'll just be formalizing his appointment as permanent.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Castiglia and Mr. Conboy, any discussion? Call the
Mayor,
roll. Yeah.
109-10, what address is it? Do we know where this property was? I thought once before they asked the tax assessor to put the addresses. I know one of them does have it, 110-10 does, but 109-10, this looks like a commercial piece. Just curious, out of curiosity.
Councilman, the tax collector was directed, because he does draft these resolutions, they're emailed to my office for inclusion on the agenda. I will again remind him that when the block and lot is determined in the first paragraph, that the address be added in there as well on all future
Thank you.
redemptions.
All right.
we need a motion and a second on the, actually, we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda from Castiglia and Conboy. On roll call, council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Work is absent, Conboy.
Yes.
Motion carries. Under resolutions this evening, we have Resolution 113-10, whereas the bid opening committee did receive bids for the Kip Avenue Infrastructure Improvement Section 2 on March 30th, 2010 at 11 a.m. And whereas the committee did receive the following bids pursuant to the advertisement for the above, and the results are as follows. Whereas the borough engineer and the borough attorney have reviewed said bids and found that the base bid price of Matina and Son complies with the bid specifications. And whereas the borough has received a Bergen County Community Development Block Grant in the amount of $189,892 for this project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the base bid of Matina and Son in the amount of $148,910.77 be and the same is hereby awarded.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, second. Mr. Conboy, discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a community development project, which means it comes from federal money delivered through the Community Development Program in Bergen County with the freeholders. The bid is $149,000, and the money we received was $189,000. So if there aren't any problems with the program and we don't have to use any of that extra money, we have approximately $30,000, $40,000 under what was appropriated. And what we do in that instance is we go back to community development and ask if we can utilize that money at the same project and extend it, if not this year, next year, so it doesn't go to waste. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Work is absent, Conboy.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 114-10, whereas the bid opening committee did receive bids for the replacement of the Van Riper culvert on March 30th, 2010 at 11 a.m. And whereas the committee did receive the following bids pursuant to the advertisement for the above, and the results are as follows. Whereas the borough engineer and the borough attorney have reviewed said bids and found that the base bid price of concrete construction complies with the bid specifications. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the base bid price of concrete construction in the amount of $768,198.02 be and the same is hereby awarded.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Conboy, second.
Second.
Mr. Castiglia, discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this also came in under bid, but it's being paid for by the county. It's the culvert on Van Riper Avenue. It is the last of 8 culverts that we have to be repaired. If you have any idea of how long it takes government to operate, this is the last culvert out of 8 culverts. Started 39 years ago, maybe 37 years ago, getting culverts. And we go along and the county pays for them. They're their culverts. And it's helped us tremendously with the water situation on Fleischer Brook. This one is under Route 80. We took out, we had the state come in and take out all the debris under Route 80 onto Van Riper Avenue. They took out 350,000 tons of debris that was in the culvert. That's all been taken out, and it's taken us this long to have that culvert replaced. Hopefully we can get them to come back and just flush it out again so that once the culvert's replaced with a larger culvert, we get greater flow through that culvert and keep it clean for the rest of the time period. Full roll period.
On roll call, council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Work is absent, Conboy.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, tonight we have, in addition to the agenda, on the revised agenda that was left for the council people in the back, we have an application for the American Legion Post 147 for a raffle license.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Conboy and Mr. Boncino, discussion, all in favor, opposed, so ordered. What do we have? We have other applications too, right?
No, that's it, Mayor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mistakenly spoke when I said it was St. Leo's. It was in fact the American Legion.
Okay. Committee reports, Mr. Conboy?
Did you say me?
Yes.
Oh, wow, let's go home. Okay, thanks.
Mr. Work isn't here.
Yeah, he's over having a good time.
He's in Aruba, having a good time. Never,
Rookie vacation. We'll get that the first year. Anyway, thank you, Mayor. Folks, we have a number of meetings coming up next week regarding our budget. Today I was speaking with our CFO, caught up with him yesterday, the end of last week. I've been trying to catch as many of the State and Senate Finance Committee meetings going on. The ones I'm missing, I'm having tapes so I can watch them. It's been interesting to watch what they're saying at that level. They make all decisions. I was sharing a shit with the mayor, somebody this week. I was very disappointed to hear that even their experts from all sides feel that the state won't see any real climbing out of this until 2014. Now, let's hope that's not true. But we are, next week, going to continue our process, which has been an ongoing process, to evaluate everything that we need to do. After Tuesday night, next week, which is the school board elections and their budget, we'll see how that plays now into our piece of the puzzle. Whether it passes or fails or whatever happens, it still has an impact on what we have to, where the budget goes for us as well. So we'll be watching that. Actually, we'll be here that night having a finance meeting, so we'll hear right away from Mr. Clerk what happens down there. So we have other meetings planned, and I just want to keep reassuring everyone that this entire body is going to make all the decisions that we possibly need to make. I've already mentioned at the last public meeting, we had our auditor in. We just didn't look at this year. He also brought a snapshot of what the budget will look like in 11, so we can prepare for that part of the upcoming years, which is going to really have an effect on us. So we're not just, as I said at the last public meeting, just not about what we're doing here today or whether we're sitting here come December or January. It's about looking forward, and that's something we've been very aggressive in doing in these last couple of years. So I'm very proud of that progress we're making there. So that's on the financial front. I would just like to take a little moment here, and my voice has a little angry tone. I apologize early on. I apologize for that. I just want to do a little follow-up to something that was brought up at the last public meeting. Our department heads work pretty hard in trying to make strides, improving things in our municipality with almost no money. We're not a municipality. It's funny, I was talking with the CFO today, who also works in other communities, and he's very close to what's happening on the ground in the communities. And they're all saying, they were saying to him, Elmo Park, how is it that you're better off than many of us? And he quietly said, well, we're not a spending town. So there's a lot of truth in that comment. But at the last public meeting, a member came up from the public regarding the field house that's over on Borough property. And yes, we've kind of beaten up this story quite a bit, but I know some of the councilmen at the opening day ceremonies that took place over the weekend got a snapshot of some of the progress they're making down there. I know a concern was raised by a resident, is this any time to be spending these kind of monies and so forth. The improvements they've already made in their process, which will be a little slower process, maybe the timing, some would say, wasn't the greatest of timing. We were trying to get this ball rolling a lot faster in the previous months, but down at the field house, which most people in town refer to as the HUD, all the improvements that got made were done very quickly, working all of our department heads working together that were involved in that process. So I want to thank Superintendent of DPW, Scott Cars, our Recreation Director, who worked very hard to get twisting arms and cutting every deal she can to not have any kind of financial impact. Phase one was the kitchen. I know I'm going on a little bit about it, because that building was kind of portrayed to be almost like an historical landmark, if you went by the resident who spoke. When we got in there last week, they found holes in the walls where the wiring was compromised. They found quite a bit of filth and disrepair, which nobody really thought was going on until you started pulling stuff away from the walls. We went into quick action, repaired everything, had it up and ready. Now the kitchen area is up to code, looks extremely nice. The floors have been cleaned, everything's been painted, spackled. The main room's been cleaned, and this is an ongoing process. There'll be when they're all said and done, people will drive by and say, oh, they put up a new structure? Where did that come from? when it's finished, that's what I hope will happen. But I want to share with everybody everything that's been done so far, and quite a bit. I know Councilman Castiglia saw it, Councilman Chewinski, they were down there on opening day for the Junior Baseball League. We've only spent less than $500 to do that work, and there's quite a bit of work. Some new appliances were bought as well. And that came out of reserve that we have for little projects like that. So it wasn't like, adding it to the bottom line, and $500 may seem like a minuscule number, but these are when necessary to be repaired. And I just wanted to, again, reassure everyone that we would not be looking to spend huge amounts of money there, but there are some things that need to be done, and I just want to do a follow-up story on that, and I think it's important, because a lot of hard work is going into that spot. And it's being portrayed as more as a, it's not necessary, but there's a lot more work going on, and I want to talk about more of the deficiencies there, but I want to thank them for getting it ready. It didn't interrupt anybody's lives, and it came out really nice. Just want everyone to know that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Conboy. Mr. Boncino?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I guess to start off, our police department and PBA local, I had mentioned this earlier in the year, but they're continuing to plan to hold a youth academy sometime in the summer months. And what they're doing is, right now they're baselining other programs in other communities that have had successful programs, and they'd like to model their program in a similar fashion. So what they're hoping to do is maybe offer 2 one-week sessions in the summer and open the session to 25 youths and kind of give these candidates an opportunity to experience firsthand the workings of our police department. So I'll have more information as we proceed closer and they refine some of the details, but it sounds like it will be a very good program for the young
Sounds
people in
good.
town. And just a second point on the police department, they're having a beefsteak fundraiser on Friday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. at the American Legion. And also our ambulance corps is having a beefsteak fundraiser on Saturday, May 8th at 7:30 at the VFW Hall. And just a note about these fundraisers, especially in terms of the ambulance corps, where it's a volunteer organization. I don't know if any of the residents have had the need for an ambulance, but when you call 911, the ambulance shows up at your house. There's a number of dedicated people who spend a lot of time training to keep their certifications up, maintaining the equipment, and maintaining the state of the art so they can respond in a timely fashion to an emergency. And I think if you can see your way clear, try and come out and support these organizations at these fundraisers in the upcoming weeks. It would be much appreciated. And just a final note, I'm continuing to work on looking at the electric usage at our main buildings here in the municipality, and we're hoping to receive a strike price from the New Jersey SEM by the end of the month, and we'll make a decision whether we're going to opt in and enter into the electric auction in May. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Caramagna?
Oh, yes, Mayor. Everybody knows on the 31st of March, I took 14 people to Italy, 7 students and 7 of us, 7 adults. And we were in Rome for 4 days. We attended Mass under the terrible weather. The rain, I had a poncho and umbrella. I don't know if you guys saw on TV. That was me with the white poncho and the umbrella. And although we saw the Pope, and the kids were very excited, everybody was excited. We spent 1 day in Florence, in the old bridge, Ponte Vecchio, where all the beautiful gold is. I didn't buy much, I didn't have much money. The council doesn't pay that much. Then we spent 5 days in Sicily. And Sicily was interesting because we visited high schools to show kids the difference between the high school there and high school in the United States, our high school in Elmwood Park. And Mr. Voicino's brother-in-law was very kind to show us the school, nice reception. He speaks very good English. The guy grew up in the United States. He's a doctor. And also I think he's in charge of the Board of Education. And he gave us a nice welcome to all of us. Made us feel good, made us feel comfortable. At the end of the ceremony, there was a lot of goodies like sweets and everything you can imagine. And then we went to see this old city of Agrigento. It's a Greek colony. And again, it was interesting because really in Sicily we have more Greek temples than there in Athens. We visited the city of Taormina, which is a paradise. If you guys have never been there, I suggest one day you should go there. Beautiful. It was also another Greek city. There's a Greek theater. It was educational. Kids learn a lot. And also I went to visit 2 different city halls. I met with 2 different mayors. Again, they were very kind, and there's a lot to learn, a lot to share. I got many ideas from them, and also I gave some ideas, whatever little ideas we have here, I have here, to them. And they really like to visit us one day, and perhaps instead of talking politics all the time, maybe we could talk about culture one day and learn from one another, exchange culture with other countries. It's interesting. It's very learning process. I suggest mainly students to travel. They can learn so much in a little time. Mayor, the rest, I miss you guys, your meetings here, and I'm glad to be back. If you believe it, I tell you another one. Anyhow, thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Home is always home, man.
Mr. Caramagna grew up in Sicily, in Scoglieti,
Scoglieti.
and as a former history teacher, Scoglieti was the area, among other areas, that the invasion of Sicily by the Allied forces took place, and I understand there's still some remnants of destruction still there.
Yeah, a lot of holes, and they've been repaired then.
Very interesting.
Also, cool land over there was the general of the land in Scoglieti was, I think, MacArthur?
No.
No, it was, no, hold on. Banner. You're right. He lent the Scoglieti.
He did well. Thank you. Mr. Chewinski.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Fire Department, they're going to have the DWI drill for the high school the weekend before Memorial Day is scheduled right now. Fire Department, Police Department will participate in that. There also was a fire drill, if anybody noticed, 2 days ago, an abandoned house that's being demolished. You might see the firemen there practicing. They use it for their recruits.
Where was that?
I think it was Falmouth Ave. I think right or Franklin's, one of the two.
It's not unusual. They do.
No, I know, they smoke them and everything.
And I think it's great that people let them do that.
Right. The first hepatitis B class was full, so they scheduled the second one. And at the end on the fire department, they're still looking for donations. Whenever you could give to their cause, please donate to them. I attended the Board of Health also. We got there late for Keith. They had their audit by the state. One of the biggest things was they want a sign there in English and Spanish on the door. So they went out and they ordered one. They received half a grant for various inoculations that are going to be coming down the pike for free to seniors and anybody, such as shingles, herpes, UFC, AVP, all free. It's going to be to the public. So I guess the feds have some money, or the county somewhere. They're planning to raise the dog price licenses from $10 to $18 to be more in line with other towns. What they're finding out right now is that the people from out of town are actually registering their animals here because it's cheaper. Okay, Mark Cal's going to have the Earth Day. You going to touch on that?
Yes.
Okay. And
I don't have all the information, but I'll have it.
I have the date, the time if you need it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the barber shop, there was a barber shop that opened with a license from another country, which the Board of Health closed down. It says it's not a state license. Somehow they got a CO, but they found out when they went to check his credentials for cutting hair, it came from some other country, and it wasn't good here, so they closed him down. They're also in the process of upgrading their death certificates. For the first certificate will be $15, and $10 for all extra ones, which will be in line with other towns also. And right now they ordered the new flu vaccine for this coming year, which will also include H1N1 in the vaccine itself. And one more thing, Mayor, on May 19th from 5 to 7 p.m., there will be rabies shots for cats and dogs at Borough Field.
You have the, Markel, is that the 20th and the 21st?
The 22nd is Earth Day, where they're going to have a barbecue and a farmer's market from 10 till 2.
Farmers market?
Yeah. Board of Health is called, I guess, to inspect it or whatever.
My information is they're going to have it at Markel in their driveway.
Yeah, it's going to be on Markel, but it's
Oh,
going to
okay, all
May
right.
22nd is a Thursday.
And Wednesday, they have cleanup day, and I think they have close to 1,000 people coming out from Markel to clean it. So anybody wants to come down, they can do that. It's Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday's the cleanup, tell me.
Yes, Mal?
You got it? Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Castiglia?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Last again.
Yeah,
Had a
last
planning board
because-
meeting-
which way I go?
Had a planning board meeting last night, a public meeting. BioReference Laboratories was in again. I guess a lot of people see their cars riding around. They've been in town for quite a while. They've been to the planning board numerous times. They're always expanding. It's a company that's continuously growing. I wish I would have bought stocks in them 15 years ago. They were in again last night. Right, Mel? They always come in with a nice, clean application. It's a pleasure to work with them. They're a community-minded organization. Like I said, it's a pleasure to work with them. They come in, they get their application done the way it's supposed to be done, and they're on their way. So they'll be expanding a little bit on Edward Ross Drive. They're going to make their lab a little bigger, a couple extra offices. So it's a nice application. We all know also that the Marcalis family doesn't own Marcal anymore, but they still own property in town. They have a new tenant coming in over in the old Oostdike building. The Marcalis family owns that now. It's going to be a financial solution type of company, but most of his business is done either over the phone or over the internet. I think he said almost 100% of his business is done that way, so there won't be a lot of traffic generated. The last two applications we had last night were the type of businesses that we could actually patronize. There's one over on Broadway, next to Stefano's Pizza. It's going to be a new wireless phone store. Now, the guy says that he'll be exclusively Metro PCS. I guess that's a phone service or something. I don't know what that is. But if anybody's interested in that, he'll be over by Stefano's. And also Lil's Deli and Liquor will be reopening. New owners, same type of business, same location. So, get out and support these people. They're all local businesses. I know it's always fun to go to Paramus to the malls, but these people are right here, so give them some business. Mr. Joe Burgess was in last night, our professional planner. There's going to be a meeting coming up. It's going to be discussing, all right, he was there last night to talk about a letter that he's writing for us as the planning board to send out to the residents of the town. We have some discussion coming up about our two-family homes. The letter will just be to alert property owners that these meetings will be coming up, so if they want to get involved in it, they can do that. Possible changes might have something to do with a different lot size for a two-family as compared to the lot size for a regular one-family. We might also be changing some sections of two-family zones back to one-family zones. The discussions that is tentatively scheduled right now for May 19th. It'll be here at the municipal building. But for the residents, wait till you get your letter in case something changes between now and then. But as of right now, it's scheduled for the 19th. We'll see what happens. May 19th.
8 o'clock?
8 o'clock, right here. And I have a few other reminders. The mayor brings up the waste watches all the time. Everybody knows garbage pickup is Monday and Thursdays in town. Thursdays, if you have any bulky garbage like couches or mattresses, you drive around town, you see a lot of that out on Mondays, and they will pick it up, but they prefer that gets put out on Thursday, the final pickup of the week. Mattresses, chairs, anything you have like that, which they call bulky garbage. Also, the yard waste pickup started last week, and it's going to run until October. And like I had said before, you put the yard waste out the same days as you put your regular recyclables out, the papers and the bottles and cans. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Kazmark, I'll be in touch with you about the letter that the planning board is going to send out to all residents except the apartments, all homeowners.
Property owners.
Yep.
Hey, you think the council could take a look at that before it goes out?
Well, it's gone to the planning board, it's coming back with some revisions.
And then it'll come to us, we can see.
Well, it goes to the planning board if
I
you
think
want
it
to
would
see
be
it.
prudent if the council just looked at it before it went
Yeah,
out.
doesn't matter. Yeah, you can look at it.
Okay.
But, Mr. Kazmark, we have to start working on getting the envelopes, labels, and the letter folded, stuffed, and sent out. Doesn't have to be sealed.
Volunteers.
Okay? Just on my report, I did call the county about the intersection of River Drive and River Road. Spoke to the county last week, and we're still concerned about cars coming by and hitting that railing as you come past the barn, going south on River Drive. We're going to ask the county if they could reconstruct that portion of the road so that it's not beveled south and down, so that you make the turn, you're not going to slide off. And I did ask him to see if he can do some. That's going to be a while. The engineer will submit a letter to him. I did ask him to look at the situation, and I'm talking to Elmwood Park residents at this point now. If you're coming off Market Street and you go on River Road, which is the road behind Markel, closest to the river, and you come upon at the intersection, which is River Drive, where the barn is, there's a sign on the extreme right that tells you to stop. So if you're making a right turn to go on to River Drive, you see the stop sign. But if you're going toward the high school and you're on the left, quite a few people don't see that sign. So I asked him if they could paint in the street full stop ahead or something of that nature, so that anybody driving on that portion sees full stop ahead and they don't go through. I travel it quite often. I don't see anybody speeding through without stopping, but I've heard people complain that there are some residents or non-residents who speed through and don't stop. So this would be a little bit more of a notice to them to stop before they go through, because it is a fairly dangerous place. We mentioned, Mr. Conboy mentioned our budget and how we're working at it. We have a 2% cap that we have to live with. We've always been a bare bones community. We've always been very tight with our budget, and when you have a 2% cap, it hurts. Some communities have larger budgets, they spend more, and you put a 2% cap on it, they still have enough money in excess that it doesn't bother them at all. But the 2% cap on us will hurt. And personally, sometimes a 2% cap is what local governments, county governments, state governments, and federal governments need, because if the money's there, they'll spend it. If you can't spend it with the cap on, you are forced to be more frugal. The employees know that you have to be frugal, and there's less banter between employees and the governing body for equipment that may be necessary, but not all that necessary, raises and things of that nature. So the cap in some ways makes it difficult for us, and in some ways makes it a little easier, because we have a reason to say, listen, we're going to hold down taxes, and I think that's the big thing that we hear this year's taxes, taxes, and taxes. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard, please raise your hand and go to the podium and give us, yes, sir.
Yeah, my name's Victor Mikulovsky. I just want
What's your address?
to... 8 Augusta Street.
80?
No, 8 Augusta Street.
8 Augusta, okay.
Yeah, house and the street number. Over the spring break and stuff, I went around town and went over large portions of the town and just, looked around the roads and the curbs and the gutters and stuff and see the damages and stuff we have to look at. I took some pictures of it, of damages and stuff like that. And, well, this is not damage, but this is great work that gets done. I don't know who does the DPW or some sort of government work does this, but it's pretty great.
They can't see that on it.
Well, maybe you can zoom in. Yeah, so it's pretty nice blacktop you guys did, and nice indications where the, crossing is and stuff, so it's pretty good. But when I get to Opal Street and Cadamus Ave, right, I talked to this resident in front of House 101, and it looks to me here, and I've been there a couple of times, that he told me that the DPW put blacktop inside that gutter. You know what I mean? Like, on sides of the street, there's a gutter that drains the water. Well, there's blacktop into it, in front of his driveway. And whenever it rains, you can see a water line like 3 feet up to his driveway. Water goes up to there because of this fill-up on the gutter. He said he tried to complain about it. Nothing was done about it. But, I'm concerned for the guy. Like, I'm seeing the water line here, and things filled up in the gutter. You guys want to see the picture?
Why don't you go through, no, wait. Why don't you go through, you're going to go through every picture? You're going to go through every picture? You're going to review every picture?
Yeah.
Okay, just review, how many you have?
14.
Okay, review the pictures, and then give them to Mr. Kazmark, and he'll...
You guys can keep it as long as you want, so you guys review it and stuff.
One Cadmus?
Yeah, House 101.
I've never received a complaint.
It's a good thing he has a couple of years before he can run for council.
Yeah. Well,
I never heard any complaint on 101 Cadmus.
no,
Starting to pack my bags now.
Okay, why don't you continue?
Yeah, then on Opal and Cadamus, the gutter, again, is filled with blacktop. Like, I've been trying to point this out before, and well, not before, but to other people. It's, when the gutter goes out and drains the water, it's supposed to be draining out into the sewer and stuff like that, but when it's covered with blacktop, it causes flooding, which is in the next picture. And it happens on my street, but you guys fixed it, you guys paved it, and so it no longer happens, because the gutter is now there. But when it's covered with blacktop, it causes flooding. I didn't go there when it rains, and I think it's going to be raining soon, and I'm going to be there again. That's on Opal and Cadamus. I'll give you guys the addresses and stuff. In the back here, there's a number, so you guys can see it.
that's also on Cadmus?
Yeah, on Cadamus Ave.
Those are the little gullies along the way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're filling those with blacktop?
A lot of the residents have been doing that, and they were told by somebody not to do that.
Yeah, I can't conceive that DPW would fill those trenches in.
That's what the guy told me, and it kind of...
Tell Victor, tell these people they should come to the meeting, because this is the first time I've heard of 101 Cadmus or any complaints like that, because so we can get it firsthand. But I drive that area frequently. I know they just did a section over, and I saw they actually paved in the drains. The DPW is well aware of that's a drainage issue there, and I don't conceive that they would pave that solid. I just can't see it.
Yeah, but the last picture I showed, talked about, it's not on the side of the street. Well, it is on the side of the street, but where another street comes into it. You know what I mean? Like an intersection, that's where it's paved. So it causes flooding there. It's no longer a gutter there anymore. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe there's a reason for it. I would like to know.
But I have, like I said, it's the first time we heard any complaints about it, to be honest with you.
And on Cole Street, and on the end of, if I'm mispronouncing this, it's Mastace Ave. Maybe I misspelled it. But the curbs are into large pieces. And I talked to the resident there. He says, like you said, it's the resident's thing to manage the curb. But let's say there's a tree planted there, and he didn't plant it, but let's say for a beautification project, a tree is planted there. You know what I mean? And over a while will break up the curb. Is it still the property owner's problem that it's still the property owner's problem?
For your edification, anybody watching, the curbs belong to the resident. We will fix curbs if we are paving the roads in a road program. We will fix any curbs that are deemed necessary to be repaired.
Yeah, because these are large pieces are going into the street, and
You showed me earlier large pieces, they should just be picked up by the DPW.
he said they'd been there for a while, almost.
Well, DPW should ride by and pick them up.
Was that Cole Street?
Cole Street.
No, that.
Well, Victor, just on that, I'm sure the mayor, if you showed him already the mayor, I'm sure maybe he told you or would regarding those trees planting, unless something's been different since I've been coming to meetings and becoming a councilman, I don't know if that homeowner owned the house from the very beginning, but when the mayor started the tree planting program here in the municipality, the borough would not plant a tree in front of your house unless you already said you want that tree. Because then you are responsible for it. So if it was a tree that the town planted, if this is all exactly the exact scenario, that tree was planted. Any tree that gets planted, if I'm not mistaken, the mayor could correct me, is you'll hear the mayor talk all the time. We're getting 20 new trees. Please contact Ms. Burke, and she'll put you on the schedule if you'd like a tree. So again, we just don't go around plopping in trees unless you want one. Request one, right, Mayor?
That's correct.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this picture. It's not just a tree, like the tree there, and it just caused significant damage to the curb. But then you go up and up into the street, and on the other side of the street, it's not even a tree there, and things pretty bad. And they want something done, but I don't know how it works. They have to pay for it, or somebody else has to pay for it. On Rudolph Ave and Roosevelt Ave, which is on Cole Street, well, intersects Cole Street, there's it's 12 feet of no curb, which is kind of insane, I think. I talked to the person who lives there in front of it. She told me that it had been there for 8 years, and when they were paving the road by it, right, she asked him, it's like, are you going to fix this curb later on? And they said it's not in the budget, or it's not like planted in that we're going to fix that 12-foot curb missing, I don't know, something has to be done about that, and it's pretty bad. Like, I was looking at it, and she's upset about it, and been there for 8 years since she was living there. And she was complaining about it to the other people, and nothing was done so far. And, in Cadmus Ave, Cherry Hill, right? When you go down that hill, or you go up that hill, that turn is pretty sharp, I would think. I don't drive, so, I wouldn't know how you guys think that turn is. But judging from these pictures, and I walk around town all the time, and you'll know what's coming up that turn. Right when you reach the turn, you see the street. It's kind of too late. Buses take this way, and there's no sign that says, and this is a picture of a biker zooming by, There's no sign that says sharp turn or beware or something that will indicate, just slow down when you go on that turn. Because I'm seeing buses going that in the morning and in the afternoon. I think it's dangerous, and a sign should be placed there or something, say, slow down or something. Was there any accidents on that part? Does anybody know if there's any accidents?
The curb going down to the boulevard?
Yeah, have there there been accidents there now?
I haven't heard of any.
I haven't seen it either.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. Thank you.
If you can come up and give those pictures to the clerk, we'll distribute them. We'll give them down to the superintendent of DPW.
Thank you.
Okay?
It's on the back. Okay. And over here indicates a description of what's going on in that picture.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Anyone else who wish to be heard? If not, I'd just like to comment on the presentation made by this young man. We have a road program every year, and it's between $200,000 and $300,000. We pave streets. This year, we're hoping that with the low bids coming in, maybe we can get more done. But prior to this year, with the oil which goes into Macadam, the cost has been extravagant, and we lucky get 1 or 2 streets done. And what we've been doing in the past is doing intersections because they get beat up more than any other section of the street. But for whatever reason, the streets are not lasting as long as they used to in the past. They're 10 to 15 years, and they're starting to kick up already. So we're doing the best we can with paving the streets, and as Mr. Castiglia, who is our liaison to the DPW, now's the time they go around fixing potholes. You fix them in the winter, they kick up again, and we have more potholes. I know they're doing as good a job as they can now, and we'll be having a road program soon. And also, please keep in mind that we've submitted to our Congressman, Congressman Rothman, to have Washington Avenue paved. We put in for the whole street from Boulevard all the way down to the railroad tracks, so the whole length of Washington Avenue. If we get enough money, which we'll find out in September, and if the prices are good, maybe we can get that whole street paid for with federal funds. So we're trying our best to do what we can to keep up, and sometimes it's very difficult to do that. If there are no other questions, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Catamagna, Mr. Chawinski, all in favor? Opposed? So ordered. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. And are you still on? Okay. Just want to indicate that this meeting will be on Cablevision Channel 77, Wednesday 2 p.m., Thursday 1 p.m., Friday 11 a.m., and if you are watching our websites, www.elmwoodparknj.us, and please check your Waste Watcher book for any information you need. Otherwise, just contact my office. Thank you.